we'll have to see if EG are going to be able to bounce back and take this to a 3-game stretch or not. And a big question I actually wanted to pose before we hopped into it was that Earth Spirit here. Now, EG, a confident team, happy to go against, you know, the likes of a new Earth Spirit, but Team Secret do play it in a way that's different than any other team out there, putting more priority into the farm and putting it in the mid lane. And I guess my question is already going to be answered here, as Earth Spirit once again will be let through. Secret to go back for it again, and this time EG, after grabbing up the Darkseer, are going to instead take the Enigma for their second pick. And by the way, I posed this question. We didn't have a clear answer in the first game. EG had selection priority, and they decided to choose Dire over first pick.
So in this game, Secret chose first pick.
Yeah,
Secret
Secret
chose first pick, and EG get a run back at Dire once again.
Oh, I guess EG are happy with that. They get their pick again. The one they wanted in first game.
I mean, this is the adjustment that they made, so we see them going for the Enigma early. And do you guys think that Secret should just try to outgrade it, or they should try to punish
What
it?
can you outgreed though?
You can't.
with-
Doom?
Yeah,
Like
I don't
Doom?
think you.
It's the fastest.
They
here in the-
tried. I think.
I mean, not as obviously not as fast, but you still run a jungler.
Is there anyone else that can contest aside from
Nah,
Bounty?
Bounty and Mirana are both the best at contesting jungle. Oh, there's still Enchantress. Yep, there's still Enchantress that can contest, and you can
think it's
pressure the
hard.
lane.
It's hard, especially in the Dire jungle, to contest the Enigma when it's farming the rightmost camps. You have to commit so far in to actually even access the Enigma.
A rewind here is again Team Secret will now be pulling out the Lone Druid once more for
This is the system they've been running. When they put Earth Spirit mid, their offlaner definitely has to be someone that takes a lot of farm priority. I mentioned this before. Like every time they have this type of lineup, Misery would definitely be on a very farm-orientated hero, so that they balance out their costs.
Just run the bear and block an Enigma camp every single cycle. Just run it in, block the 30-second camp.
Seems
Plant
like...
go and plant a ward in one camp, then just use the bear as a moving ward.
get techies and just put mines in each of the nuclear camps. No?
Doesn't it not block anymore?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think it blocks.
It's not a hero I play very often. I'm not even seen very often.
That'd be so funny if someone tried that and then you just see all the camp spawn. You're just like,
I was about to say you're a good guy for not picking techies, but then I realized you're an Earth Spirit player, so never
Thanks,
mind.
bro.
I picked techies.
Yeah, I know.
You can...
I know Dakota, you mentioned...
And you think it's fun too, that's the worst.
You mentioned the Oracle for the last game, against the Darkseer and against the Bat Rider as well.
It was not even just that, but even the Spectre, it works so nicely with, you know, a heart candidate. I mean, when you're able to pull out a false promise, let's say that the heart was triggered. I mean, even with, 9 seconds at level 3, it has plenty of time to come off of cooldown, and someone had already done the math, but you essentially get 1000 HP from your heart regen when you double it with the false promise.
How does that work with dispersion? Like, do you do damage with?
You still do
dispersion?
damage, yes, you still do
While?
damage. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That's cool.
It's very good with Spectre, so. But, I mean, Pile Die did an MVP performance on the Lion, so can't really fault them on that.
Not according to the audience.
Not according to the audience. And
It's
this
time,
time,
to,
they
it's
will
time to
have-
ban that Spectre that apparently completely owned last game. Better not face it again.
Yeah.
I do actually think they could try to ban it, but it's
Nah, they
by
would just
nature
pick
it's just a
anti-mage
different.
instead.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
By nature, it is a very different game now that EG are running this Enigma jungle compared to last game. The interesting for me to see here is that we were talking about earlier how they first picked the Darkseer in game 1 and they did it against Fnatic as well. And in the anticipation perhaps that the enemy team would run a jungler and he could get the 1-on-2 matchup, it looks like they just value the hero that highly. They pick it now together with the best jungler by themselves. Maybe now expecting that he will be playing a 1-on-3 lane, they just still think it's that good. He can't really retire to the jungle when Enigma is taking it though. So if Darkseer gets punished, he has very limited farm access early on.
Oh, we forgot about Sand King. In terms of contesting Enigma's farm, or by contesting I mean
Equalize.
equalizing. Yeah.
Just run into Enigma and Sandstorm.
Seems good.
I think it's great.
Yeah, but maybe, do you think that EG is considering whether they are going to ban the Enchantress here? That's why they're taking such a long time?
Could be. Nope.
And do you think that they should hop on the opportunity to pick up that? Ah, they can't now. They already have the Enigma.
Wait, they had the bench in all their games today and yesterday, and now they're actually banning it themselves. So they don't want to pick the bench, and they don't want Secret to have the bench so that they can cancel the black hole easily.
Why didn't they do the Faceless Void opener that we saw some teams do versus Earth Spirit? Do you think Darkseer is significantly better for EG over the Faceless Void? I actually think their Void is disgustingly good. By theirs, I mean universes.
5 seconds.
Yeah,
But the way they played around it too. But anyway, I guess it's not a question for this game.
Doesn't that matchup go both ways though? It's Earth Spirit is one of the better heroes against Void. You've got long duration silence, you got a long distance stun, so you can catch him out and kill him in the mid game.
But if you don't time dilation, it just destroys him.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I guess it works both ways. Anyways, Evil Geniuses.
Wait, while you're now that we're on that topic, dropping the Stone Remnant doesn't have a cooldown, right? There's 0 cooldown on casting Remnant, correct?
correct.
So if you're time dilated and Magnetize is running, you can still extend Magnetize at the very least. Which
As far
is
as I'm aware, yeah, it should still work.
biggest part of his damage output in teamfights later on.
So do they want Sven again? They're taking a mighty long time for this already, with 5 seconds left of reserve time.
Throwback to the Bane here for BPD, it looks like.
Bane used to be one of the most favorite supports when you're against a lone druid because you just sleep the bear when he's trying to do the creep skip, and then the creeps just run back to lane normally. But at the same time, it's still difficult. You don't really have a good grip target. Even with the new improved Savage Roar, like you can easily interrupt Bane's ultimate. But I guess they want the strong lane support to maybe slow down the Radiance timing.
5
Then they need a hero that goes well with the sleep, like a Lash. Like they need something that can insta kill, like 2 heroes that can kill him right away. Otherwise you would be, because Bane alone can't really zone the lone druid that well, unless you sleep and you have a target, a partner that can actually instantly kill with 2 heroes.
What else is there? Sven?
Like Bane Lash is like the strongest. Sven is okay.
You just get roared though. After.
Yeah, that too. It's very hard for you to actually position yourself.
Do you think, as EG, you can accept giving Lone Druid a bit of space in return for running a Drow, so that your Bane is stronger, your Enigma is faster in the jungle?
Nope.
Nope.
I think you can't. It's really difficult to push high ground into Earth Spirit, personally.
I think it is with every hero.
I actually thought about that too, like because they're on Dire, Ursa is not there, so
Yeah, there's a
Drow,
way of getting Roche.
Drow comes to my mind, and I know that EG on the Dire side they always try to somehow abuse the Roshan.
It's a very bad matchup against Spectre, though. That's the problem, because if they pick it now, then Secret can respond.
Yeah.
They already have a good lane support for Spec.
Looks like Secret will
Straps
pick
on
up the
somewhere.
Dazzle for their 3rd pick in this patch. They've had 12 games on Dazzle with a 6-6 record.
I also think they wouldn't abandon advantage if they wanted to go for Drow. They would just
Yeah, just go
Pick it
Venge
themselves.
Venge
Venge,
Drow.
yeah.
So they're more likely going to go for something that's much more, late game orientated, you would say, instead of just trying to play faster pace. They try to be more greedy.
5 seconds.
It's a really low time.
We were posing the question a lot in between games is what the Sumail hero is going to be, but we'll have to put that one on hold. Lycan is going to be the 4th choice.
It's still
for
the
EG.
same with a Drow. It's just a hero that can actually abuse the Roshan. However, this hero provides a little bit more late game compared to Drow. You are much stronger in the later portions of the game, and you don't really need a mid hero that's a range hero to benefit in the laning phase. You're much more open in your last pick for Sumail.
It's actually very interesting that we completely forgot talking about Lycan
Yeah,
in the
we-
last couple of series, because we've been so focused
Drow,
on Ursa and Drow
Ursa.
for the Roche. This is an EG classic. I think Arteezy plays one of the best Lycans in the world. I guess number 1 standout player that comes to mind is probably Sylar for LGD. Which was also, coincidentally, the game they won against OG in the group stage. But Arteezy and Sylar are both incredibly skilled on this hero. And it can go mid, technically, if they want to. Any hero can farm it.
Yeah, because it's against Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
They know that already. So yeah, that sounds like a good idea as well. Because Lycan definitely doesn't have any problems laning with Earth Spirit. I mean, I think you should still be able to even bully him, right, in the lane, because you have much more damage than him.
I think so.
The matchup is actually really good for
how's Earth
Lycan.
Spirit's armor?
I think it's like, what, 2? I don't know. It's
Good.
nothing to
That needs a
brag about.
-1 next patch, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's rare to find a matchup where Earth Spirit would be the better 1v1.
That's why he's not played as a call as much.
Yeah, I mean, usually we'll see him like, I don't know, you see him a lot in the off lane. I mean, that's even where I personally like to play him, where you can get to those levels, and you always have a way to make your way out from trouble, but yeah, the Lycan will definitely get the upper hand in a mid lane matchup.
This is a very defensive support duo from Secret. Dazzle plus Shaker.
So they banned the Puck, which is going to be very good synergy with their lineup. Like usually Puck Lycan is very good together because he set up the kills for the shape when Lycan is shapeshift. Decent in the lanes as well. They're gonna go for that profit, which will provide them with much more push potential. And I mean,
Siphon versus Bear.
yeah,
They always
arguably,
have the-
arguably you could win your lane against Earth Spirit harder than the last matchup, which was Bat versus Earth Spirit. This lane is probably much more even difficult for Earth Spirit.
It's always nice to have a silence against them, that's for sure.
And the very good thing here for DP actually is that, you know, when teams run DP mid, often you try to, if you gank her, you commit hard because you know she has Spirit Siphon, so you try to gank with 1 or 2 supports and really just burst the kill. Their heroes can't do that. Like, it's a Dazzle and a Shaker as the support do. You can Fissure block her off, but I actually don't even think they can kill her.
Yeah,
with the
that
Earth
is
Spirit.
actually a good point because a lot of the games where we saw that proper struggle in the early game is because Earth Spirit is support or they have a touch support, and then they are 1v1 and then someone rolls in and it pressures you in the lane. Secret are going to go for once again the dual core with the Earth Spirit mid and Team H this time instead of the Spectre because they have good mana void targets, I guess.
Can they stall long enough for ATMH to come online? That's gonna be tough. When he's a like in DP, I'm not sure if I want to.
So you would actually
Yeah.
prefer the Spectre over the AM?
Someone that can fight a little bit more early on. I guess maybe they want that. Maybe that's the burst that they're looking for to actually kill the Death Prophet.
It was just not a good Spectre game. Lycan eats her alive.
Yeah.
Death Prophet's actually pretty good against it too, with Exorcism.
I would just
and
prefer maybe
Spirit
standard gyro. I think would have been much less risky. I would say.
Yep.
All right, can we get some quick predictions here before we throw it over to the casters right now? We'll start with you, Sid.
We're gonna see a game 3.
We're gonna see a game 3. You're thinking EG, you're gonna take it?
Yeah, I think this is too much of a risk and EG is going to be able to take this game.
Do you agree, Ben?
Earth Spirit.
5 seconds.
All right.
Alright, Earth Spirit.
I see nothing wrong here.
We'll see what the results are going to be. Game 2 now underway. It's Team Secret versus Evil Geniuses. We'll send it back to the arena now with OD and Draskell.
Indeed, thank you very much, Dakota. And here we have it, game 2. Secret EG. EG this time round, they said, well, we mastered the early game in game 1. This time, let's stick to that. Let's follow through. Let's shut this game down as soon as we can. They've got the DP, they've got the Lycan, they've got the Enigma, they've got the push. And Secret, well, they say, hey, you want to run 4 intel heroes? We want to look for the big mana voids. We're going to get Jackie Mao on the anti-mage. But as the panel question, is there going to be the time for Jackie to come online, Andy?
That is going to be the big question mark for this game for Secret. You're against Death Prophet, Lycan, Enigma push, and you're picking an anti-mage. I would say that is more than a little risky given Secret's position, but they are a game up. Very important to keep in mind that we are playing at best of 3, and this is probably the best position to pick a lineup like this where you're buying a lot of time for your position 1. You have a good space maker and we mid on that Earth Spirit. Ben was talking about it. Extremely strong hero. His first game was a bit shaky, but as soon as he turned it on, he was hitting 3-man boulder smashes, he was landing huge magnetize after huge magnetize, and he managed to do very well. So if any team at this tournament can buy time for that NVAM, I think it's going to be Secret.
And that's got to be the scary thing as well, as you mentioned with the Earth Spirit, the fact that game 1, that was Weehar's warm-up. Now he's in the air.
Yeah.
That was the warm-up game for Wee. Now he knows what he's doing, and EG, let's start this one off, Artur. Throwing a Fisher to the backside, he'll pull himself out, and it will be just Samal and Wee securing the bounties here for the respective mids. And coming into the lanes, I mean, we've already talked about the fact that EG, they're going to be able to get the ball rolling in terms of team fight momentum earlier than the side of Secret. Just in terms of laning in the farm game, is Secret going to have a hard time here, or should they be all right in terms of securing space for Envy?
Well, the panel we're talking about, the difficult matchup mids, the Earth Spirit versus the Death Prophet, I do think that it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I don't know if I agree that it's going to be harder than playing against the Bat. Because the thing about playing Bat when you're melee is you always have to go and reset your napalm stacks every single time it gets to like 2 or 3.
Oh, this rotation from Secret,
Yep.
Smoke up incredibly early on. They're looking for Samael, and they're going to catch him out here. Straight in with the heal ball from Twilight Eye, and Samael, he'll pop the Verify, the Spirit Siphon as well, keeping him alive here. Can he get himself away? He's got the 310 movement speed, it might just be enough. Puppy, closing
Going
in,
for Roche, I
VR.
think.
He's going to have to roll in a second, and he's going to use it. It's going to be off the Oh no, we are clips himself. Samael is still running.
There's no
He's
creeps
still
there,
running.
Samael. There's no creeps.
Samael, there we go, Jackie
Oh
Mao.
my god.
Jackie Mao. He has it delivered to him on a plate. Fast food delivery there. Samael straight down to the bottom lane. And MB eats it up. First blood there for the AM.
Man, that was so unfortunate. He's like, I gotta die to Roshan, but I gotta dodge the rolling boulder. Oh wait, I'll die to these big creeps. That's why he threw out the Crypt Storm. He was hoping that there was a large camp there, but it was warded. So, giving the kill to the potentially the worst possible hero to give it to.
Bottom lane. Oh no, just giving it some to Universe. Forcing it back there, but yeah, not the best ways for Samael to start there. Unfortunate here for the man on the Death Prophet. And we'll continue to see pressure being put on mid. Puppey hanging around here on this Earthshaker. Just trying to keep as much control as he can of this area of the map and ensure that Weehaw has a good start to this game.
Yeah, the panel we're talking about how it's usually difficult to kill a mid when you have 2 defensive supports, but then Ved said something that kind of just really hit me, you know? He said Earth Spirit. So when you're ganking for an Earth Spirit who has levels, I think it's a lot easier to set up these kills because Shadow Wave suddenly becomes a very good kill tool. Think of something like Naga Siren where you make illusions and you throw a net on somebody and you heal bomb. Earth Spirit can put himself in melee range very quickly, so then all of a sudden your heal becomes useful in terms of ganking. So I think this is one of the few lineups where having 2 defensive supports can actually rotate successfully around mid. Now, it does require them both to go there. I don't think they can kill unless Puppey's Fissure is immaculate, and even then it could be hard.
Alright, we're going to see Samel walk up onto this one here. Just going to force Puppey away. It should be fine here, Puppey. Yeah, the stun coming out from Wee, just holding the Samel DP at bay. But as you said, yeah, Puppey, I mean, he could be a nuisance here, but in terms of killing, he's going to need a bit more help.
If we look at the laning phase, that's the 4th CS that Wee's hit. And you compare that to Sumail, even though he spent pretty much, over a minute running away from the 3-man gank that ended up first blooding him, he's still got more denies than Wee has CS. And even with Puppey camping the lane, he's not feeling too pressured unless the other support is in the area. And then bottom lane, obviously the best farmer on the team is Envy, but the Darkseer is still pressuring him a ton. Like, Universe is doing a pretty good job down here so far.
Envy should be alright now. He's got a point in the Spell Shield, Headdress, and the Ring of Hell, so the region's going to be golden.
Yep. That first blood actually could be one of the bigger reasons why Envy might come out and win this lane. The Darkseer versus AM matchup is very unique in that a lot of melee heroes struggle against Darkseer, but AM has Spell Shield and he also has the Mana Break. So that could be enough to kind of push a lane in his favor, especially considering that First Blood pretty much secures him extra regen in the lane. And once he gets these 2 items together, with the Tango going, he's got 16 health regen. That's way more than enough to sustain this.
Weehaw is going to head down and grab himself that bottom bounty rune. Windsor at this point, again, the table's kind of turning in terms of the draft. The fact that EG, they're going to be maybe expecting not to have full control of the lanes because they are running this Enigma jungler.
Well, you say that, but they're actually winning their lanes still.
That's the thing. They're doing
winning,
much better than,
They're winning harder than they were winning the first game. The only person on the side of Secret who is doing, I would say, even remotely well is Envy. So normally these are the types of drafts where you say, okay, we're going to run like a 4 protect 1, but the other thing is too, Misery also needs a lot of farm. So I think this game, I don't know if he can necessarily go the Midas into Radiance route because he's going to have to be somebody who's present during these engagements when EG come knocking with 5. I feel like that's probably one of the bigger concerns that the panel had expressed is this is a very greedy lineup from Secret. They have 2 heroes who need a ton of space and 2 defensive supports and really only 1 playmaker, and that's the Earth Spirit.
Absolutely, as you said, just because it is favoring EG. When that Enigma comes in to join a lane as well, there's going to be heavy potential for EG to find the kills. Weehaw still trying to catch up in terms of CS in the mid lane, but as you were noting earlier, somehow just having the favourable time with the Crypt Swarm. Get kicked back in.
And Wee's starting to recover a bit though. At the beginning it was looking pretty bad because he ends up going up against the Prophet who has pretty much full mana, full health, and Wee didn't have his bottle at that point, so I mean obviously Envy getting the first blood means he doesn't get the gold for it, so he's not being helped in his lane per se. And the rest is Secret. Their whole lineup is defensive by nature. Like Shaker, Dazzle, and then you have Lone Druid who pretty much just wants to farm. AM is the same, but he's not really going to be wanting to come to too many fights, I would imagine. It's just a lot of time that Secret are going to need this game to really reach their lineup's full potential.
And there we have it, level 6 on Fit, and he's ready to look for an opening here with the Black Hole. Top lane, Misery and Puppey. PPD smoked up as well with Fear, seeing if they can set something up at the back of this one. And now, Arteezy coming in, the eyes are out. We know that they're here, and that's going to be the call for Fear to start to move in towards Puppey. They're going to turn from Misery. Misery pops the Savage Roar with the Brain Sap and the Malefice as well. Misery, he's controlled and he's brought down EG. They'll take down the Lone Druid. And they do still have that Black Hole, not needing to expend it there for that one.
Yeah,
it was a massive rotation actually from Secret as well, which is going to give a lot of space for Sumail on this mid lane push.
they realize the importance of keeping their towers alive. Like in this game, you definitely want mid to be alive over your offlane tower. There's no doubt about that. But when you see a hero getting dove and you have the kind of support that Secret do, that is probably the best chance you have of taking a team fight in the early game. I mean, he's just gonna pop magnetize until the creep wave. That's how scared they are of getting pushed down in the early game. They just, okay, roll forward.
I mean, he's going in it, but PPD with the brain sap and weehaw.
He defended the tower.
It was slowly just kind of, let's use magnetize to defend the tower. Let's use my life to defend the tower.
Hey, man.
Maybe not the play there for win.
Holding map control. That's all that matters. Buy Envy time, buy Misery some time.
And it is working. Envy's top of the net worth. So if that's the game plan, Secret have got that in control. But EG certainly with the 3 cores. And of course, well, Fear as well, but the space that he's received in the jungle. When the ball does start to get rolling, EG are going to have some pretty powerful push here. Just 8 minutes in.
Envy's going to need to have more health if he wants to TP to fights too. He's only sitting at about half right now. Universe was still pressuring a bit, but he is eventually going to be forced back to base. And Envy's pulled ahead, man. He's highest CS right now. He's doing a very nice job. Just how much time do they actually have?
Puppey just trying to soak up levels on this top lane. There will be RTZ and Fear. Moving on to the tier 1. There'll be some backup on the side of Secret coming through. Pilot Eye and Misery.
Nice.
And yeah, Puppey there with the enchant totem.
And this situation is very passive for Secret, and EG are also probably not going to be contested for too many objectives. Like, they can go for Roshan, and I don't know if Secret can really do much about it. As long as they have the Vlads completed up on Arteezy, which should be done very soon, he's already got the medallion, that Rosh is kind of free. I mean, we can jump in, do the suicide magnetize similar to what he was doing mid when he was trying to defend the tower and hope that you can win that engagement. But Mech is going to also be done on Fear around the same time as Vlad's is going to be completed on the Lycan, which means the heroes inside of the pit are not really going to be low. You're relying on pretty much your own team's damage at that point to be able to secure a fight, and I think it's also too much of a risk, which means that EG's lineup is going to hit its highest level of momentum at a very early stage, and that's exactly what they're looking for. They just want to completely restrict the map control away from Secret, and taking the Roshan and then going for tier 1 towers is the best way to do it.
Arthur, maybe thinking about going aggressive there onto Puppey, but a TP will come through. There's backup as well for Secret. RTZ just trying to put as much pressure as he can onto the tier 2 top. Well, indeed, in terms of this Jackie Man anti-mage, 4.5k on Envy at the moment. Is there going to be a point where we'll see EG put a bit more attention in terms of trying to catch him out, or at this point is the game plan just to continue looking for their own objectives and just to kind of not worry about the anti-mage, or is that's not the play here?
It's kind of asking the same question in a different way, because if you think about it this way, dealing with the AM, you have 2 options. You can kill him, which EG's lineup don't really have the capability because they don't have any kind of blink initiation. Their lockdown is pretty much a Bane or a Silence coming in, right? So, with that said, they don't have the tools to really kill him, but they can kill Roshan, take all of his towers, and then the AM feels scared to really go anywhere.
Let's have a look at the AM, because they have smoked up and moved down here. They're going to lead in with the Fiend's Grip. Arthur with his wolves, they've got enough damage, and they'll take down Envy. A little bit unfortunate there, because that smoke, it was spotted out by Secret's ward, by Roshan.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they got caught by that, but very nice use of the wolves. I guess you don't need a blink dagger when smoke at deceit and wolf vision gives you the ability to use Fiend's Grip, but this Roshan, again, I don't think Secret are going to try to do much about it. Can they even get anything happening here on Universe? Doesn't seem like it.
And there's some good things happening here for EG, killing the anti-mage, getting the Roshan. It looks like they may lose a tier 1 top, but that'll be a trade that they'll be very happy taking. Usually does finish that one off, but EG, they're certainly kind of ticking the boxes that they need to get this draft working.
Now, this is exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
Like, getting the Envy kill is just a bonus. Like you said, the smoke was under a ward, probably shouldn't have died that way, but At the end of the day, stuff happens, you know? Every once in a while, you make a mistake, you miss something. That's not really the end of the world for Secret's draft in this game. It's more just, of all the heroes to die, that's the last hero that you want to be off the map, because his Battle Fury timing and when he buys his Vlads are going to be crucial in how much he can D-push and kind of split up the map to force EG to react to him. Because it's all about timing. Because of the fact that Misery is also opting to go for Midas, they're going to need even more time to recover from this early game, and they're doing the right thing. They don't want to take the fight against EG. A 5-on-5 engagement is way too much of a risk. It's easier to just avoid the fight, use a lone Druid Bear to push, continually keep Envy safe.
Oh, wait, look, Cohen in it. Puppy setting this up with the stun onto Fear. Weehaw moving in with the Magnetize, and Fear dropping. He's going to get rooted to Fear. Oh, he pops them back, keeps himself alive for the time being, but he will still go down there. They'll give themselves one kill. Savage Roar, sending Universal BBD back. They're closing the Mana Boy coming out from the east. Not enough. They might lose Weehaw. He's still alive there with the combo. Universe is going to die. Weehaw stays alive there, and PPD is trying to find it, but he just can't. We are still alive. Triple kill for the Elspire, and now the Crips one finally comes through, will kill him. So we are doing so much work there with that Earth Spirit.
Dear God, dude, the plays on plays. Also, Earth Spirit, what a hero. Look at that damage. 2,000 damage, and he did almost as much damage as the entirety of EG did during that whole thing. Now, you could easily argue that that root pretty much just won the fight for EG, but you could also just say that Earth Spirit is Earth Spirit. That no other hero could do what he just did in that situation. That was disgusting.
That was, yes. I get the feeling if this does go to a game 3, we won't be seeing the Earth Spirit again. Or do you think, well, I guess if it goes to game 3, that's going to mean that EG do win against the Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
But Weeha's performance this game, game 1 we talked about.
If it goes to a game
kept
3,
up
EG might think about banning it. It's hard to say. It just, you know, it's a pick your poison thing. What are you more comfortable dealing with? EG showed last game that they can get a very big advantage, even playing against the Earth Spirit during the early game. They made a couple of mistakes.
Okay. Straight in with the Fiend's Grip. Universe brings him nice and close as they take down the Shaker. Quick and easy one there for EG.
But yeah, the Earth Spirit this game, very impressive. Like you mentioned, warm-up game seems to have helped. And those are the types of plays that can really bring you back into the game, because that's heavy commitment from EG. They brought everyone over there. They do take out the Shaker, which is nice, but they are feeling the pressure, man.
PPD being searched for. It's going to set something up with the Nightmare. They're going to go for this one. Looks like Weehaw with the kicks going to be enough to push him back. Look at the Exorcism out though here. EG, they're going to want to stick around. They'll look to finish off the tier 2, which they'll surely get. Fear, of course, does still have that black hole. He's yet to really find an opportunity to use that one. And we'll see if EG, off the back of the Exorcism and the tier 2 going down, will look for more, and it looks like they'll play it cool. There's still tier 2s to take in the other lanes. PPD going to be the lead, the one towards the mid lane. He's got a Nightmare onto MV. There is backup here. Sumail coming through, sets it up with the silence. Can they kill him before he gets out? He's got the backup of Twilight Eye, and he's going to be fine. Silence not long enough to really cause too much of an issue for MV. He's out of there. Puppy trapped up here though, and he will get brought down by the power of Arteezy. Now Arteezy moving in for more. Eyes onto Weehaw. Weehaw, he gets off the Magnetize here. The Grave as well. He walked through the wall. Can he get himself out of this one? The Urn ticking it down. He'll be nightmared up, and he will get taken down. So Mel there on a killing spree now. MV coming in with the Mana Boy. Not enough to kill Arteezy. Oh, MV! Oh no! The crowd had a bit of a giggle at that one. At Arteezy. The BM intentionally just lost there. Bit of a taunt potentially to EE, but...
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets a kill there, and he ends up dying, I don't see how that's worth. I really feel like that decision in general was, he could have just been pushing top, you know, he could have been hitting the tier 2 tower, could have been farming EG's woods at this point, and he's the one that they're looking to and saying, okay, you got to carry this game. You need to get to a stage where EG aren't able to just kill you with one Fiend's Grip, and you just split push the map, make sure that EG can't ever 5-man, and then maybe Misery, you know, picks up his Radiance eventually. Speaking of, he's actually farming very well, given the circumstances. 15 minutes in, he's got 2,600 gold and his Midas complete on the bear. There are still a couple of things going for Secret in this game, and Misery is one of them.
Yeah. I mean, going back to game 1 as well, Misery was kind of the stability that Secret needed to help them transition from a 4-laning stage into the latter portions.
Yeah.
So it could be a repeat this time round. It's only going to be a hard one though, because we talked already, of course, about how strong EG can be at this point, and it's not going to be anything less than what we expected for the draft. Vanguard now done on Universe. You've got the Necro being scaled up, of course, as well. And it's going to get hard for these boys.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets a kill there, and he ends up dying, I don't see how that's worth. I really feel like that decision in general was, he could have just been pushing top, you know, he could have been hitting the tier 2 tower, could have been farming EG's woods at this point, and he's the one that they're looking to and saying, okay, you got to carry this game. You need to get to a stage where EG aren't able to just kill you with one Fiend's Grip, and you just split push the map, make sure that EG can't ever 5-man, and then maybe Misery, you know, picks up his Radiance eventually. Speaking of, he's actually farming very well, given the circumstances. 15 minutes in, he's got 2,600 gold and his Midas complete on the bear. There are still a couple of things going for Secret in this game, and Misery is one of them. Well, Secret with the smoke now. Even gonna walk into an invis rune. It's gonna be nice. Now we've got Veil and Magnetize at the ready.
Let's see what Secret can do it. EG around the Ancients is maybe difficult for them to do the jump unless Weehaw can find some initiation. Fisher onto Arteezy. Weehaw getting himself into position with his invis. He's not going to pop it straight away. And Arteezy's going to be the one to try and fight here with the ultimate. Moving in, there's your Echo Slam. Arteezy incredibly tanky though. Puppey kept alive here by the Shallow Grave. Weehaw in the midst of it all with the Veil. Mac's going to be popped. Weehaw has got to get himself out. They've already lost 2 on the side of Secret. Arteezy starting to do a lot of work. That's going to be a 3rd one. And now potentially a 4th. Weehaw to fall as well. EG coming in with a hard-hitting fight. 4 dead on Secret. And they didn't have any answers to that one. And this Lycan is certainly becoming a huge issue. Coming up to 10k net worth. And off the back of a team fight like that, we know EG are going to be able to push at an insane rate.
Yeah, they're pushing, like you mentioned, very strong. The Battle Fury just got done on the AM, 17 minutes in. That's a little bit slow, considering the lane wasn't too hard on him. He was farming very well at one point, tied. Still actually tied in terms of CS with Arteezy, but the main problem with their lineup is just simply put, it's greedy. They have 2 disables, and they need like the Shaker to have Blink Dagger, they need the AM to have minimum 3 items. EG just have everything they need right now, and it's only 17 minutes in.
Well, we are. Let me kick out onto Samel. EG, how long are we going to stick around for this one? Arteezy just walks in. He says, I'm taking your racks, whether you like it or not. Gets the walls out, and he certainly will. That's going to be the melee racks down in the mid lane. Or Puppey says, you're going to stick around for a bit, Artur. Locks him off with the Fisher, but Secret unable really to do anything about that. Arteezy being surged up prematurely, but now Weehaw in with the stun. The burst as well. Artur falling low. Weehaw rolls forward. Can they keep Arteezy alive? The root is there. He'll drop the Necro Units. The back of the wall. Weehaw kept alive. Arteezy just TP's out in front of them with the stun. Walk up from Weehaw. He takes down the Iron Shell from Universe. Keeping Arteezy alive there as he takes down the 2 from Secret. And EG now 15-4. This is the momentum that they slowly started to build up, and now they're hitting their stride. They're nearly 20,000 ahead of the side of Secret. And at this point, as you said, the greed may have just got the better of Secret this game. Oh, Puppey! Forward in, forward down. They'll get an the cover up on the ults there! There he is with the black hole coming through onto Envy. Envy will get the blick off. There's a buyback from Puppey here. Maybe that mana void from EE was the miracle that they were waiting for. And they'll be able to hold the bottom set of racks. It's a nice cash influx for Envy, but he's still got a bit of a way to go before he can carry this game. But they do keep themselves in it, and EG are forced to back.
God, that was so much gold for Envy, actually. Just that Mana Void alone was almost 1,800 gold. That is insane. So he finishes the Vlad's off that, almost has enough for the Yasha. That kind of puts him back into a state where he is competitively farmed, if not almost the most farmed on the map. He's only a little bit behind Arteezy right now. The biggest issue that Secret are running into is the fact that, again, they can't contest any objective. The biggest contention that we saw was for the tier 1 mid, when we decided that it was best to just give his life for the cause and just try to defend the tier 1 by throwing his body into the enemy. When you have to do that in order to keep your towers alive, you definitely are more of a greedy lineup than not, and it's definitely being showcased by the fact that EG are showing no signs of slowing down. They just want to push. They want to get the next Roshan. It's going to be up in under 2 minutes. And when that happens, regardless of how much farm Envy has, a lot of it also boils down to the fact that the rest of his team just can't really help that much. If Puppey had a Blink, for example, or the Radiance was done on the Bear, I could see them defending high ground maybe 3 out of 10 times. It's 30% chance. But without those items, it's even harder than that. I mean, Fear even has BKB now. So you don't have an interrupt except for Mana Void anymore. Do you really want to pop your Mana Void on a hero to stop Black Hole?
And we will be able to pop the guy here. And indeed, let's see if Secret have an answer for it. Puppey, he's down in that. That was a buyback, of course, before in that previous fight. So he's gone for a good 40 seconds. Back him onto Misery, though. EG, let's see if they can find a second one here. Universe surges forward. He's been doing a lot of work this game on the Darks here, and he's going to continue to do so. Onto Misery, and they'll get it. Arteezy will claim it there, and at the same time, EG with the Exorcism, Samael will clear up the bottom set of racks. There is a buyback available on Misery, but of course, as we saw, he was trying to desperately work his way towards that relic, and now he's not going to get it. 30 seconds without the bear, and this opening now could be what EG need to close this one off. They move on to the tier 4s. I'm going to see Secret coming back on the map, and it looks like EG will just play it carefully. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to risk giving away another big couple of kills to Envy. But still 19-6, 21.5 minutes in. It is definitely EG's game at the moment to lose.
I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like this in the potential Game 3 that's going to be coming out. I think it's fair to say that being double racked at 22 minutes in and not even being halfway to a Blink Dagger on your Shaker, he even opts to just buy a Chainmail because he realizes that there's a very low chance that he'll ever even get to that item. They're just dumping everything in the Eternal Envy / Misery basket and just hoping that they can get enough items to stop the push from EG, but Roshan's up. Everything is just syncing up so perfectly with EG's timing. They get Roshan, they push, they eventually get middle racks, they get another Aegis after taking bottom racks, which they didn't even need the second life for in the first place, and they only have, you know, one more tower to kill in top lane before they've exposed that last set of racks for Megas.
And he's going to find himself the double damage, and has just finished off the Manta style. Let's see if he's able to achieve anything. We've got eyes on PPD. In fact, this very aggressive blink in there from Envy. Forcing PPD to back off. The rest of EG now turning up after taking down Roshan. See what Envy's game plan is. So he's going to keep it cool and try and get a bit of a split push on, just working his way around this top lane. And see if EG do anything about it. They've got 4 heroes mid. EE does have a TP scroll though this time.
Yeah, they're gonna need like a big mana void. I think he has to ignore Black Hole entirely and just hope that Sumail is low on mana at some point and they can throw out a mana void for just damage.
Oh no, Envy. Okay, he'll turn for PPD. PPD has got a Glimmer Cake, and he does need to get back Envy. Home in a bit of trouble. The fortification coming out, the tier 4s are falling, and that was the TP cancel, so he is having to take the E Walker Shane back. And now, let's see if they can do it. This could be the final fight for Secret. They need something amazing to happen on this one. So Sumail popping the BKB. Exorcism's out as well, and Envy getting himself in position. He'll start it away Sumail. Sumail is low on the mana front, and Mana Void is available. Envy's got to look for a big ult. He's got to find a big ult. He's been silenced up. Manta's hit off. Sumail getting forced back in. Puppy's going to fall on the side. He's clear with the BKB out. Still has that black hole available. He's looking to get the opening. He's looking on to Weehaw. And they're still holding at the moment. Sumail pulls himself up. Weehaw rolls across the Magnetize doing it. Oh, he missed! He made him out avoid the rage creep! Oh no, Envy! Oh no!
That would have killed Sumail for sure!
Oh, Envy! Oh, now he's been Fiend Script. That could be salt into the wounds here for Secret. And there's Black Hole coming in. GG is called by Jackie Mal himself. 24 minutes in, EG perfectly executing the plan in this game, and the graph is just an absolute nightmare for Secret. Over 27,000 net worth lead there 24 minutes in. EG pretty much executing their lineup to perfection, and the anti-mage pick did not work out at all, Andy.
Well, I think the panel said it before we even started the game. It was really greedy from Secret to go for this. Like Lone Druid and AM on the same team, that's just something you don't see very often, and most of the time it's for good reason. I think if any team could have pulled it off, Secret is one of them.